Learn English through stories. Many English learners face a common hurdle, understanding spoken and written English quite well, yet struggling to produce clear, confident sentences themselves. This often leads to frustration, making one feel stuck despite hours of dedicated study and immersion in the language. It's a bridge many hesitate to cross. You absorb countless new words and grammatical structures, perhaps enjoying movies or books without subtitles. But when the moment comes to speak, words vanish. This disconnect between comprehension and vocalization is a shared experience among non-native speakers worldwide. The silent battle persists daily. How do we bridge this significant gap? How do we transition from a passive understanding of English to actively engaging in dynamic conversations? The answer lies not just in more listening or reading, but in a strategic approach to speaking, even when it feels uncomfortable initially. One incredibly effective method to jumpstart your speaking journey is by learning English through stories. Stories provide a natural, engaging context for language acquisition, making new vocabulary and phrases memorable and easy to internalize. They offer a comfortable entry point. When you immerse yourself in a narrative, your brain connects with the characters, plots, and emotions, which helps in retaining information far better than rote memorization. This emotional connection makes the language feel more alive, and less like a sterile academic exercise. Stories, whether simple children's tales or complex novels, introduce language in digestible, repeatable chunks. They expose you to natural conversational patterns and common idioms, helping you to understand how native speakers truly communicate in various situations. Imagine following a character's adventure. You pick up phrases organically without even realizing it. This method helps you to start thinking in English, as you anticipate events and understand motivations within the story's framework. It's a powerful tool. The journey to fluency begins with starting step-by-step talking. Don't wait until you feel ready or until your vocabulary is perfect. That day might never come. Embrace imperfect speech as a crucial part of the learning process. Begin with simple phrases describing your day, or even narrating actions you are performing at home. The goal is to activate your speaking muscles, transforming passive knowledge into active articulation. Every spoken word builds confidence. How to learn English effectively involves more than just consuming content. It requires active production. Think of it like learning to ride a bicycle. You can read all the manuals, but until you actually get on and try, you won't truly learn. The key is to transform your internal monologue from your native language to English. This might seem daunting at first, but it's a vital step. Try describing your surroundings, your feelings, or your plans silently in English. This internal narration helps you to identify gaps in your vocabulary and grammar in a low-pressure environment. It trains your brain to formulate thoughts directly in English, bypassing the translation process that often slows down speaking. How to think and speak simultaneously is a skill that develops over time with consistent practice. It's about building neural pathways that directly connect concepts to English words, rather than going through an intermediate translation stage. For instance, instead of thinking it's raining, then translating, try to directly associate the sensation of rain with the English phrase. This direct association speeds up your response time significantly during conversations. To improve your fluency, consistency is paramount. Short daily speaking sessions are far more effective than long and frequent ones. Make English speaking a natural, albeit small, part of your everyday routine. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. They are inevitable and provide valuable learning opportunities. View each error not as a failure, but as feedback guiding you towards more accurate and natural expression. Why you should practice speaking is simple. It is the only way to genuinely become fluent. Reading and listening build comprehension, but speaking builds the muscle memory for articulation and the confidence to use the language. Without active speaking practice, your ability to quickly retrieve words and form coherent sentences will remain undeveloped. It's like knowing all the rules of a sport, but never actually playing the game itself. Speaking forces you to confront your weaknesses directly, whether it's specific vocabulary you lack or grammatical structures you find challenging. This immediate feedback loop is invaluable for targeted improvement. Start talking at home in a safe, judgment-free environment. This could be by yourself talking to a pet, or even narrating your actions as you do chores around the house. The important thing is to produce sounds. Describe the objects you see, what you are cooking, or what you plan to do next. This continuous internal and external monologue helps to solidify new vocabulary and grammatical structures in a practical context. You can also record yourself speaking and listen back. This allows you to identify pronunciation issues, repetitive phrases, and areas where your speech might sound unnatural. It's a powerful self-correction tool. Moreover, engage in self-talk about topics you care about. If you love cooking, talk about recipes in English. If you enjoy sports, describe games or players. Passion fuels motivation and makes practice enjoyable. While speaking is crucial, why reading is so important cannot be overstated. Reading extensively provides a rich source of vocabulary, grammar, and idiomatic expressions that are essential for sophisticated speech. Reading exposes you to diverse writing styles and complex sentence structures that might not appear in everyday conversations. This broadens your linguistic repertoire, making your own speech more varied and articulate. It reinforces proper spelling and grammar subconsciously. The more you read, the more familiar correct patterns become, which then translates into fewer grammatical errors when you speak. Reading also helps in developing a strong understanding of nuance and connotation, crucial for effective communication. It provides context that often clarifies the subtle meanings of words and phrases. Combine reading with speaking. Read a paragraph aloud, then summarize it in your own words. This bridges the gap between passive intake and active output, making the connection explicit. Let's revisit the idea of learning English through stories. Choose stories that genuinely interest you, regardless of their perceived difficulty. Interest is a powerful motivator for consistent engagement. Start with simplified readers if necessary, gradually moving to more complex native materials. The goal is consistent exposure to engaging narratives that naturally expand your linguistic horizons. As you read, pay attention to how characters express emotions, make requests, or describe events. Try to internalize these patterns and imagine yourself using them in similar situations. Think of the story characters as your first conversation partners. Rehearse their dialogues or even imagine new dialogues for them, putting yourself in their shoes and speaking as they would. This imaginative practice helps you to overcome the initial awkwardness of speaking, as you are not speaking as yourself, but as a character, which can feel less vulnerable. Remember, how to learn English effectively is a multifaceted process. It's not about finding one magic bullet, but integrating various strategies into a cohesive learning plan tailored for you. Step-by-step talking also means setting realistic, achievable goals. Perhaps for 1 week, your goal is to say 5 new English sentences every day, no matter how simple. Then the next week, aim to describe your morning routine in English for 2 minutes. Breaking down the large goal of fluency into smaller, manageable steps makes it less overwhelming. This incremental progress builds momentum and confidence, demonstrating to yourself that you are indeed capable of improvement. Celebrate these small victories. They are crucial motivators. How to think and speak directly in English is perhaps the most challenging, yet most rewarding aspect of becoming truly fluent. It frees you from the mental burden of translation. When you think in English, your responses become almost instantaneous. There's no pause to translate from your native tongue, leading to much smoother, more natural conversations. Start by labeling objects around you in English. Whenever you see a door, think door. Whenever you see a chair, think chair. This direct association is foundational. Then move to simple actions. I am walking. She is eating. Gradually build up to more complex thoughts and abstract concepts, all within the English framework. To improve your fluency, seek out opportunities for real-world interaction, even if they are infrequent at first. Online language exchange partners can be incredibly beneficial. These interactions provide authentic communication scenarios, forcing you to adapt and respond in real time. The pressure, while initially uncomfortable, accelerates your learning curve significantly. Why you should practice speaking relentlessly cannot be overemphasized. It's the active application of all your listening and reading knowledge, transforming passive input into active output. It builds muscle memory in your mouth and tongue for English sounds and intonation. Just like an athlete trains their body, you train your vocal apparatus for English articulation. Remember, start talking at home, even if it feels silly initially. This safe space allows for experimentation without the fear of judgment, building the necessary confidence for public speaking. Use a mirror, talk to yourself, pretend you're on a podcast. The goal is simply to get your mouth moving and your brain formulating English sentences aloud regularly. Revisit why reading is so important. It provides the fuel for your speaking engine. A vast vocabulary and solid grammatical foundation from reading empower your spoken words. Don't just read passively. Read actively. Underline new words, look up their meanings, and then try to use them in your self-talk or in simple sentences later that day. The journey from understanding to speaking fluently is a marathon, not a sprint. It requires patience, persistence, and a willingness to embrace mistakes as stepping stones to mastery. Each story you read, each word you speak, each thought you form in English brings you closer to your goal. The transformation is gradual but profound and incredibly rewarding. So take that first step. Pick up a simple story, read it aloud, and then try to retell it in your own words. The power to speak English is already within you. Unlock your voice and embark on this exciting linguistic adventure. The world awaits your thoughts. Express clearly and confidently in English. You are capable. Remember, confidence in speaking comes from speaking itself, not from perfect knowledge. Action breeds courage. Start today, right now, with whatever English you know. Every single sentence, no matter how simple, is a victory. Celebrate each one. Keep pushing forward, and soon you'll be articulating your thoughts effortlessly. Your journey to fluent English speaking starts with stories, unfolds through consistent practice, and culminates in the joy of effortless communication. Believe in yourself. Embrace the process. Embrace the learning. Embrace the challenge. You are on the path to becoming a confident English speaker. Your voice matters.